Well, hey guys, Larry here, and I am back out at the land. This week is an important week. Um, should be closing on the ferry house here the end of this week or so. I've been filling out all these forms and I've met with the assessors and stuff, and they went in there and they were very impressed with the house. And it was very nice, and he even made a comment to me, he's like, "You're selling this for how much?" And he thought I was selling it a little below. And I explained to him that it's my mother-in-law. It's what that she can afford with the mortgage and stuff. Yeah, I could get more, but you know, you also have to take care of your elders too. And the other option is that I could sell the house, and then I could sell it, get more money, but then need to find a place that works for her too. And we've looked at houses and stuff. We've looked at houses from 60, I think it was 68,000 was the cheapest house that we looked at, and I think the whole house was 13 feet wide by like 35 feet long, and it was part of a duplex, and the other part, the roof was falling in, and it was all raggedy and it had tarps over the roof and stuff. And it's like, you don't buy that, because the other side of the house, all the, you know, storms and everything is going to come through the roof and rot that all out, and you're attached to that. So that's not something that you do. For 68,000, it should have been the whole house. It should have been a lot less than that for the whole house, but housing market has gone up, and you can't, the cheaper houses that you used to be able to find around here for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, they're not available anymore. Everybody's up the price on them ever since COVID, and they just really haven't come down very much. So we've gone all the way up to 120,000 in those houses too. They're going to need work. And the other thing is that she is in her 70s, and her knees are not the greatest, and going up and down stairs is not a good option. That's the whole reason why she needed to move out and find a place, and that's why I came up with my place, because it was all in a single story. And she and all these other houses, they're all these older minor houses up here and stuff, and they're real skinny and tall houses, and they got skinny stairs that go straight up, and it's just not a good option. Plus it would take money to bring them back and everything, and then you're buying them, you know, a mess with things in it that you gotta fix. So it is the best option. That should be ending this week. That'll free up some cash to get this project rolling more. We also have my wife, before we married, she had purchased some land behind the house where we're living now, and we had that land listed, and we sell that land. That would be enough money to build this barnuminium thing with those two things together. So I was gone for this weekend. Took this weekend off. The wife, she ran in Grandma's Marathon over in Duluth, and she ran in that marathon, 13.1 miles, I think it was. And actually our son, second from youngest son, he committed to running with her. The youngest one has ran with her, the oldest one has ran with her, and he committed to running this marathon with her. And they went over and ran this, it's a half marathon, and it's 13.1 miles, and he ran it and had an awesome time. They did well. My wife, she was right on target. She was hoping to break a record, but it was really muggy over there and stuff. There was big storms over there the night before. They actually delayed the race for half an hour, and it was real thick in the air and everything, and the mugginess, and it was hard for her to breathe and stuff. So she didn't break a record, but she came in right in her time that she usually does a half marathons for, and very happy with that. And the youngest one, he didn't prepare at all for the marathon. He's a very fit young gentleman. He's in it's called ROTC. It's kind of like an ROTC type program thing. He's very big in the military, and he is very physically fit. He's built pretty good, and I was thinking of something that made me laugh. There was a boat race. They do these cardboard boat races, and he always paddles the boat, and on his team, they always put him in the boat paddling because he's got a lot of upper strength and stuff. And I was down there for the last one taking pictures. I was taking pictures as he was getting ready to get into the boat, and he pulled his shirt off, and there was a couple guys standing around him. And I snapped a picture, and I looked at the picture. These two guys were all like leaning around and looking at him like, whoa. The boys cut. And it was like, those guys were impressed. But he ran in it, and he did not prepare at all. He's very physically fit, but he's not a marathon. He's not a runner. And I saw him just about 3/4 away, and was getting towards the end. I went over and cheered him on and everything else, and saw him coming. And I said, hey, it's only a couple more corners. He was just kind of walking. He's like, my legs are so crap. And I was like, it hurts so bad. But he made it through. And he's actually committed to running another marathon with her, which I thought was crazy. I thought he'd be done after that, but he said, I need to practice some more. He likes to push himself. And so there's going to be another one coming up, the Canal Run. It's right here in Houghton, and my wife always runs in that one. She's a big marathoner. Last year, I think she did 5, and I think she's already done 3 so far this year. So she loves to run marathons. She gets out, she runs almost every morning. She gets up super early. She's out running all the time. She always tries to talk me into coming with, and I just say, I got a bone in my leg. I can't do it. But yeah, marathoner I'm not. But we were gone this weekend, had a pleasant time over there, and spent a few days away and stuff. And I am back, and it's early, and we got back. It is super warm. It's super hot. It's already, I think, 77 degrees, and the sun is just starting to come up basically over the trees. So I'm expecting it's going to get really hot today, so I decided to come out and try to get some work done before it gets really hot and sticky. We're basically at the same point as where we were in the last video. The camper sitting right here, that's got to be torn apart and everything. I'm going to have the kids doing that. I'm going to have them tear this all apart and everything else so we can get rid of it. And then I'm going to keep the frame that's underneath it, and I'll make some kind of trailer out of it or something. But I am going to finish marking the boundaries for the property. I only have one more section to go, and then I have completely surrounded this whole thing. I'll show you guys the process that I do with that. I could pay the surveyor to do this part, but just to mark the corners and a little bit of piece of property line that's right by the house that we needed to have it professionally done, it was many thousands of dollars. And so for them to mark every line, I mean, it probably would have been $10,000 for them to do that. And I don't know, I don't see it that big. They walk around with a machine thing. They just walk up and go beep, beep, beep right here, you know. But they like to charge money for that. But there is a way that I can do it. I've read the deed and everything else and all that information, and it actually gives you the lines and stuff with it. And this last one is probably the easiest. Well, that one in the front corner over here is pretty easy too. It lists it right on there. It's so many feet due north. And in my case, I'm going to go and due south. Will take me over to the other property corner. And it was the same way over this way. This way over here was like 66 degrees east that I had to walk. I started over there and went east, and I had to be 66 degrees. And you just basically walk with a compass 66 degrees, and I just marked trees on the way back. The thing is that I have talked to the people at the county, at the courthouse and everything else, and really the lady at the building department who I'm working with and everything, we got the address out here and we're doing the building permits and everything. She has a big piece of property up here too, deals with trespassers all the time and everything, and she's given me some advice. She said that by law you have to have no trespassing signs. Don't put up no hunting, don't put up no hunting, no fishing signs and all this. It has to say no trespassing, that's it. Because they said if you put up no hunting signs, it said legally you actually can't hunt on it too. And they said that, sorry about the wind, it's kind of nice because it's keeping it a little bit cool. But they said that you have to put up no trespassing signs. It has to be every 50 yards, there has to be a sign. and it has to have the address of the property on it. So basically what I've been doing is going through and going from corner to corner using a compass and walking that and just marking trees, making a property line. It might be a foot or two or a couple feet off one direction here and there. As I trying to do a straight line, I need a tree to hang a sign. I may, you know, go off 1 foot into my property, 1 foot over the. It's not really that big a deal. It's just developing a property line. And if you have these signs, then you are legally protected. Then if somebody comes in, hurts themselves, a tree falls on them, they come in with a side by side, whatever, they hurt themselves, nobody can come back and sue you and everything else. You have properly done it, and it's properly marked and everything else, very visible. There's nothing that can happen, and that's the main problem that we want to get rid of, is that we don't want to be liable for something, something's to happen. And then in between those signs, I'm also going to be hanging some other signs too. That's some no trespassing, real cheap ones, but these ones here are kind of expensive. I've been hanging them on boards and fixing them all up and everything else. So I got the four-wheeler out here. I got my backpack on, and I'm about ready to head into the woods. And I tell you what, I am sprayed down for ticks. Holy cats, ticks are a problem right now. It is unbelievable. And I've been kind of spraying on a little bit, but not really getting crazy with it. And I have been pulling ticks off of me like crazy. And I am sick of these silly ticks. I don't know what's going on. But I have the spray stuff that you douse your clothes with, and it's supposed to last in your clothes for like 6 weeks or 6 washes and everything else. And then I also put this lotion stuff on and everything. And I sat there and hung up all kinds of work clothes on the garage and everything, and I sprayed everything down and all let it dry and everything. So I am covered head to toe with this tick stuff. I am done with these ticks. I don't know why. I don't know what's the purpose of a tick. I don't get it. But yeah, I told the wife, I said, I think that we're gonna have to get about 100,000 chickens, just release them on the land just to eat all the ticks. Chickens eat ticks. But yeah. The land here is covered with these flowers. There's just big fields of them. There's purples, there's pinks, there's whites. And this is just a very small patch up ahead of me. There's a huge patch of them. But they're everywhere up here. And I can't think of the name of them. My sister, she was here, she told me the name of them. I can't remember. It starts with an L. Lupus or something like that. Or something like that. I think lupus is a disease or something, but I don't know. But it starts with an L. But they're everywhere out here, very beautiful. There's like a whole just big field of them over here. We did have some huge thunderstorms that came through here. And I'm gonna go check out the road quick that I put in to see if it washed out or what. I have not gotten this culvert in here yet. And you can see all the water that is pulled up in here once you get across there and stuff. So that needs to be a thing. You can see the water was actually going across the road. So I need to get these culverts finished and everything else. These are not a big necessity at the moment, but I need to get them done. But let's head back up there and keep working here and get this property line done. I'm gonna see what I can get done here. It's early in the morning. I'm gonna see what I can get done before it gets too crazy hot. You can see it, the road is this is the main driveway, and it's washed out a little bit. It was a lot of water. We had some really heavy rains. We had actually damage done to roads around here and everything else. But you can see all these flowers that are everywhere over here. Let's see what this road happened. See how badly it did. This is the one that I'm worried about washing out. Not bad. You can see my culvert's working. It's got water over here, but you can see how that pond there has filled all back up. And this trench here is all water. So the culvert's working good. It has washed out the edge a little bit. You can see how it washed it down on the rocks. This over in here kind of washed out a little bit. It was a lot of water. Well, this looks all good up here. Well, guys, this is one corner here. You can see this here. This has been here a long time. This is the corner of the property. It's a big metal stake that's printed down in there, and it actually has the coordinates and everything all stamped on the top of it and everything. And then there's tree markers, and you can see how the tree, they take an axe and they kind of sorry about that, excuse me, I'm just getting over this cold that I've had for like a week and a half. But that tree right there is a tree marker, and they stand on here with their thing, and then they look at a rangefinder, and on the map things, on the D things, it'll say on there how many feet away, and it'll say what kind of tree it is. And you know, this one will be to the east, and it'll say how many that is. That way, if this post ever gets moved or removed or something like that, they can come in here and see they have a bunch of them marked. See, there's one there, and then there's one over in that direction, and it looks like that's it. They either have 3 or they have 4 tree markers around where the corner posts are. Well, here, right here is another one. This one's like right almost on top of it, though. And then there's also those metal things, and those were actually put on here. Those were actually here. The survey guys did not put them here. I had found this corner once. Me and my wife walking around out here looking at stuff with the onyx and all this. We had actually found this. Onyx really didn't match up, but you know, we saw it and we were like, I wonder if this is a corner or something. But the onyx didn't match up, but it is. So you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. There is the tree marker there, the smaller one, and then there's a tree right there, and it has a purple mark on it. And then up on top of that hill, there's another purple marker on a tree. That's actually our property line. I've already done this, and it goes off that way, and that's that property line. So now, standing on this post here, what I do, there's a bug. Get off of there, bug. What I do is I stand on here and I can use a compass, and I'm just using my phone, and basically due south. So right there, and I just go through, and I just walk due south, and I use spray paint, and I'm just painting trees as I walk due south, and I'm using that 4-wheeler. Makes it a little bit easier. Usually what I do is I walk like, well, 50 yards or so, mark some trees on the way to get a straight line for a boundary line and stuff, and then I usually come back and grab the 4-wheeler and then drive it up a ways and everything. That 4-wheeler right there, that's the boys' 4-wheeler that I redid, and it's only a little 300, but that thing has a low gear in it. That thing will climb anything. It's amazing what that thing will go over. But I've been out here climbing all kinds of stuff with it. But so if we walk due south, you're going to see there's actually a red flag on a tree that matches up with the line. So if I just walk due south, and see right here, this is an old flag right here. This is the property line. And so I just continue to keep walking south, and basically what I do is just hold up the compass, and I just turn it, and I look off, and I can see there's like a good sized tree right there, but then beyond that there's a split tree. there's like two 6 to 8 inch trees, and they're kind of right next to each other growing up. That's the tree that I'm aiming for. I use my compass and it aims right at that tree. So then I'll go down to that tree and I'll make a mark, and then I'll walk a little, and then I'll do it again, and I just keep going south, and eventually I'll end up right at the other corner. I've done this with all the other sides and come right out on it. So it's working pretty good. It saved me probably $5,000. And it's not like the property lines out here in the woods and stuff is the most important for straightness and everything else. If I'm a foot off or 2 feet off, it ain't gonna be a big deal. It's actually 3 trees together. So it's this one right here. Whew, mosquitoes are buzzing around me. So I'm gonna mark this tree. So I just mark them like that. And the main reason why is so that I can come back in here and find them when I put up the no trespassing sign. So now, looking at it, and so you can see it's basically that tree right there, and then there's a real big one behind that. I'm gonna go mark that real big one. So to show that I'm on the right tracks, I'm heading south. I'm trying to show my compass here. So I'm heading south, I'm walking directly south, and I also come up to these lines. These blue, you can see that blue paint right there. That's actually from the forestry department. That's from, or the timber company that owns this part over here. They have a set of blue lines every once in a while too. You'll see a line going and everything. And I was walking along and boom, right there I came. So that's a tree that they have marked. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually mark, and I can see another one down there. But I'm going to step inside the line here a little bit. And mark that tree. It's just inside the line. And then I'm going to go down here, because this here is, it doesn't look probably like it, but it's actually pretty open. There's not a lot of underbrush in here. And guys with 4-wheelers and snowmobiles and stuff, they will come through here. And so kind of want to mark this area special, that they see, that they make sure that they see the no trespassing signs. But I got these real nice signs all made up there. They have no trespassing. They have no trespassing on them. And I have them mounted on some treated plywood pieces that I cut all up, that I can screw right onto them. So the signs just can't be torn down. And see, like this one here, I'm actually going to be over the line. But this here is kind of a gully, and this is a 4-wheeler is going to come right up through here. It's going to make his way through here, going through the woods and stuff. Or a snowmobile in the wintertime, this would be someplace where a guy would come up through. So that way, have them over the top of this hill and then right down at the bottom too. So I think I'm going to put it on the outside of this one. But see, like this one here, that's the property line right there. So this one's going to be a couple feet on the outside. But it's okay, it's only a couple feet. And right here is the lane. You can see it crosses just to my left here. I kind of went up a little high. It's open, more open. But this is the lane that comes down through. And there's it's just a little bit down here. Right here. Right here. That's where it goes across. So it goes here, and it goes right up that hill and goes quite a ways back up in there. You can see right there is some trees of the blue right here. So this is the line right here. Well guys, I am back here marking the boundaries, and this is the neighbor's property right here. And then I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but it's about 100 yards or so that way is where the clearing is, where ours is. This is the property line right here in this tree. You can see the red paint mark. But I have these signs here. I bought these. They come in a roll. They were pretty cheap and stuff. And these here I'm putting quite often to really show people, to really mark the boundary and stuff. Legally, I guess that I have to have a sign. You can see this. You can see them all through the trees here, going all the way down through there. And the line comes right along in here. And then right there, over there is the next one where the four-wheeler sitting. But every 50 yards, I have to have a no trespassing sign with my address on it. And these I have all made up and everything. I've cut up some treated plywood and attached them onto it. Wrote my address on the no trespassing signs and everything. But then in between that, I'm putting these yellow signs and everything that so that, you know, there can be no mistake. Okay, yeah, I see there's a no that this is somebody's property line. This one isn't really that particular, but this winter, me and my brother were down here and we were snowmobiling and stuff, and you could hear people snowmobiling back in these woods. And the gentleman that owns this, something just cracked back there. The tree just cracked behind me. The gentleman that owns this piece of woods back here, he owns basically the exact same size lot that I do. It's 80 acres. And he's very particular. He doesn't want anybody trespassing. Doesn't want anybody on there and stuff. And he has some signs down on the end and stuff. But I know, and he complains about off-trail snowmobilers. That's what I do. And he had said that. He said, the biggest problem I got is the off-trail snowmobilers. And I said, well, that's me. I'm an off-trail snowmobiler. I said, but I do it on land that's permitted for doing that you can drive on. I said, I'm not going to ever be on your property. I said, you don't have to worry about that. So this sign really isn't that big of a deal. The main problem with doing this is that I have to clearly mark where the lines are, so that if somebody comes in and they break their neck or have some injury or something like this, something happens and it's on my property, if it's clearly marked every 50 yards, there is a sign with an address and a line is clearly marked, lawfully they cannot do anything against me. So that's why I'm doing this whole thing. It's a real big pain in the butt. I've spent, I would say, probably about $150 so far dollars on no trespassing signs, maybe even a little bit more than that. And I still have to get probably another 40 of them, but all the stores are sold out of the ones that I want. So I have to order some and wait and everything, but I'm doing what I can. But basically every 50 yards I'm putting this one up that has my address, and then I'm putting these yellow ones up all over the place so that people can't say, oh, I didn't see a no trespassing sign. But you can see them right here, carrying them on the four-wheeler here. This four-wheeler is like a tank. But I have them mounted on the back of the board. I'm not going to be showing them and stuff because it has my address and stuff on here, this property. But it's just no trespassing, and it has the address of the property on it. So that's what I'm going to do, is stick one up here right now. And basically what I do is get them up as high as I can. I try to get them up about that high right there, so that I can, so when the snow is up here and stuff, there's 5-6 feet of snow, you can still see them. So I'm going to get working and just keep my way. You can see the next mark is right there. It's in a tree right over there. So I'll probably put one on this tree. I might put one in there or something. I just put them all in here and just making a big line across the property here. Well, I am continuing on with my boundary markers. I gotta go down through there. It's right through those two little trees. There's that bigger tree is my next one. And I can see the mark way down there in the bottom of the hill. It goes that way. So we got some really good hills in here. I doubt the camera even shows it, but this is really hilly up in this place. And you can see my signs. Right there's one. The line goes right up through here. You can see these blue marks. These blue marks were actually surveyed with a lumber company who owns this land over here. And when I had it surveyed and stuff, they said it's right. This line is right along with this blue line. And so I've actually been checking my compass and everything else. It's right on. It's going due north. And that's this property line is actually due north. So it's, I could see it. It's way down there in the bottom of the hills, the next mark, but I'm gonna put one on this big tree. Once I kind of go down, I can't do too much stopping. I'm kind of standing on top of the four-wheeler. I try to get them up as high as I can, so when the snow comes and stuff, you can still see them. Get them pretty visible. The lane is right, I can see it down there. I can see where the sun is popping through there. There's no trees, the lane is down there. So that's where I'm trying to make it to. I need to put up a sign with my address down there on the lane. That'll be about 50 yards from the last one. And then I'll continue on where I was marking the other day and keep going on that way. This is to show you how steep it is. The four-wheeler's got the brakes locked up on it. I'm staying on the very back of it to get up to putting a sign on. But if I hold the camera level, can't see for it's sticking straight down. Front tires are against a little knob thing, a little dirt holding me back. So I'm gonna put another one right on that tree right there. It's kind of a run thing. A lot of guys with snowmobiles will come through here, put one on there, and then up on top of the hill. And that's where the trail is, right there. See, this thing is a mountain goat. And see, right here is my, stop. Right here is the trail, and say this came right through here. So I am up here. This is the northwest corner. This is the other lane. I've made it over to here. I actually ran out of staples for my staple gun back in the woods, back in right in here. Not too far away, so I know where to go when I come back. But just to show you how onyx is off, it's not terrible. But right there is the fence that I put up. That's what onyx said the property line was. Then we had this surveyed, and right here is where it crosses. And it goes right like this. And you can see the fence down there. So it's not terribly off, but it's off. But I marked it right here because this is where the property comes across. And legally, I'm going to be putting a fence in here. And that's why I marked that tree right there. So I thought I'd show you this before I leave. These are the signs that I put up on the property last spring when I bought it and everything else. And then I found out they were actually down there, and I found out that wasn't my property, so I pulled them and I just kind of laid them down here. I thought they were pretty good. They weren't rude, but they were just letting people know, hey. So you can see right there, I wrote up, because I talked to the DNR, because it was in the CFA program, I'm not allowed to put no trespassing. So I put stop. I said, the land has been purchased. We ask that you respect that this isn't your property, but that we have spent a lot of money to purchase this property and have many plans for our future. I have some equipment and bringing more, and I don't want people messing with it. Also, every time I do
work on a driveway, dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides come through and tear things up. The land is still in the state CFA program. CFA program goes private land that is open to public use for hunting, fishing, and trapping in season only, and only by foot traffic. That is the law. We have filed the paperwork to be removed to CFA, but waiting for DNR to file paperwork. Speaking with DNR, there is no hunting season, which means anyone on the property is trespassing. We have placed cameras and we'll turn over to the police and file trespassing. Then, I can't read it. Thank you for the 99.9% that respect our property. To the others, I do believe in the Second Amendment. So, I had these and I put these up and trying to stop people from coming in here and stuff like that. And basically, people would run them over and they'd rip them out and throw them in the woods and stuff. And they'd run them over with their side-by-sides and stuff. And that's where that one guy I caught. He was actually, I was right behind him and he steered off the trail and hit one of these signs. So, yeah. I don't know. I thought that was kind of nice, you know, just saying, hey, guys, come on. This land has been purchased now, so it's not free for offer anymore, but it just doesn't work. And it has slowed down. I have not seen anybody in here yet this whole summer. Did see a couple snowmobilers this winter. Had conversations with them. They played. One guy played dumb and said, I didn't see no trespassing sign. And I said, oh, really? And I looked right when they drove through and I says, you drove right past where I know I have put no trespassing signs. And I says, but then you drove right past my semi and all the other equipment. You didn't think, oh, I wonder if this is somebody's land? And he's like, well, we lost a cell phone back in this, he says. And this was the easiest way for us to get in. He goes, I was in here yesterday and saw there was a gate up there. I was hoping to get my way around the gate. And I said, oh. I says, well, you're the one who I followed the tracks when I came in this morning. And I followed my tracks and you all went out in the field and everything. And you ran over all those trees that are planted out there. All those red cedar trees. There are little saplings out there. And you ran them all over. You could see them all bent over and broken. I said, so really I could actually call the police on you and that's called, you know, damage my property. He was like, oh, sorry. People just don't think. And it is what it is, you know. But thing is, this land has been for sale for a while. Nobody else purchased it. And so anybody has a problem with they can't come on it now, you could have bought it, you know. Well, I'm going to head up here. We got a site evaluation coming up. So this is the site evaluation. I got the site all pretty much cleaned off. That's the area right there where I'm talking. I'm going to have to move the containers to. Pretty much starting where that white birch tree is going back. So all that's going to have to be cleaned out and everything. All the trees have to be cleaned out of there. Then I can start digging all that out and everything. It's going to have to come down probably 15 feet, something like that, because where this is level, this is up here, this has to go down at least 3 to 4 feet, and that's probably about 10 feet above that hill back there. So it's gonna be a lot of dirt bringing it down here. Once I get that all put in where I want it and elevation I want it, then I'll be moving the container over there, and I'm going to be getting another one, and I'm going to drill holes and put in some concrete piers so that the four corners are sitting on concrete piers so that they don't heave or nothing. So when I do build a roof across there, it's never going to heave or nothing else. So that's the plan with that. Me and the wife are actually going to come up here after dinner tonight, and we are going to put in stakes and everything because the site evaluation's coming in, and we're going to stake off where the barnuminium is going to be, where the house is going to be. We're going to be staking all that off so that we can, so that when they show up and everything, they can see it. And plus, I think it will help my wife too, because I talk about it a lot. I tried drawing her pictures and everything else. But I think the seeing it will make it a lot better. And so we're going to be putting that in there. I am going to be making the barnuminium smaller. To fit in here for what I wanted 120 by 42 foot. But the thing is, if I do 120 by 42 foot, it's really going to crowd up here, and it's going to really limit access space back here. And this, I want to have space where I could park equipment and projects and stuff like this that can be hidden from the house so we don't see all this garbage. So if I do all that, we're not going to do it. I looked at it. It's going to be around $28,000 less to build it, a little smaller. And I think that the plan right now is going to be 90 foot by 42 foot. The apartment inside is 22 foot wide. It's going to take up 22 foot by the width of the building. And so that will leave me, what, 68 feet. 68 feet is enough to put a semi-trailer into it to work on it. Or you could park 2 trucks in line and have 2 pieces of equipment in there working on. Plus there's going to be 2 bays. So you got double the room. The only thing that I'm losing the capability of is I won't be able to pull a truck and trailer in there and close the door. So if I need to work on a semi-trailer, I'll have to back it in there, unhook it if it's like wintertime, unhook it, pull the truck out, then close the door. That's the only problem. That's the only thing I'm losing. But it's a lot of money just to get that, and I think that it'll be just fine. So that we're going to reduce it a little bit. It's going to fit better into this size. The wife made a comment that, yeah, we got to fit the building to fit the lot. And I'm like, we got 80 acres. We can build ourselves a pretty big building. But for what we want to do, the building lot here is what she's talking about, for the house and everything planned out. So that, I totally agree. So we're going to come up tonight and we're going to put stakes in and try to figure this all out and lay it out so we can see it in person. Well, guys, me and the wife have come up here. I was actually going to record when we came up here to lay this out. And I forgot the camera at home. I took it home to charge it because it died out in the woods. And then I forgot to do it. And I also have a wireless mic on. I haven't been using a lot of my recording equipment for many years. And I noticed editing the video, marking the boundaries, there's a lot of wind noise. Sorry about that. But we have the shop all marked out. This would be one corner right here, and you can see the line here, and the other corner is over there. And then it goes on down that way. So it's 42 foot wide. That leaves 2 bays, 21 feet each bay. That's big bays. That's a good sized bay. But we also got to plan the apartment in the back. So the apartment will be this wide and it will go 22 feet this way. So that's going to be in the back part of here. And then I'm kind of planning on having a deck upstairs, coming down with some stairs down the side of the house right over here. So kind of for a secondary exit. And it'll be a deck looking off into the woods here. But and then that red stake right there is maybe a possibility of a well there. I have the site evaluation tomorrow, and they're going to come out and I got to dig test holes and find out exactly what they approve and everything else. But I have it as this could be a possibility of one place. The main reason why is because right in this corner of the barndominium, down on the bottom, there's going to be a utility room. That's where all the plumbing is going to come in. That's where all the boiler stuff's going to come in for the in-floor heating and all that stuff, and electrical. It all come in a utility room. So if I put it right here, and I put the well casing right here, right next to the building, I don't know how close you can build it to the building. But if we put it out here, I would actually like to build some kind of structure over the top of it so that it doesn't freeze. That is a problem up here. A lot of people will put bales of straw over the top of their wells and bury them like that and stuff like that in the winter. I'm thinking I can just build a structure over it, put some insulation in it, and have it so that like the roof folds up and the walls just come off. And that way, if anything ever happens and somebody needs to get into the well to replace a well pump or whatever, need to back a truck up to it, we can just remove that stuff and you can still get to it, but then it'll be insulated. And then you just have the water going right into the building right there. And then going down to the house, I can have
pressure tank inside the utility room and everything, and then I can run a pipe going underneath the shop, going right over to the house over there where it's projected. The other possibility for the well is here, and the other possibility is over there, not by that single tree sticking up by itself, but kind of more back in that corner, because those containers are going to be over there. So I could put the well casing over there, but that's going to make long runs for water piping underground. It's going to be out there all by itself. So I'm going to see if this is okay here. I'll be talking to them tomorrow. But this right here will be the shop. And visually, I put up this string and everything, mostly for my wife, so that she could visually see what's happening here and everything, because we reduced the size. We went from 120 foot down to a 90 foot. And so it's going to be, the one corner is way over there. And there's a pretty good drop that goes down into a gully down here. And the driveway up here, we've talked about it. We're actually going to cut the driveway into this corner to make it more straight coming up. And my biggest thing is I'm trying to plan for semis. So I have to be able to plan for a semi to be able to come around here, have this a whole gravel lot coming around, and be able to come back behind there and do a turnaround and then come back out. I'm not going to do a pull through because we're going to, that'd be nice, but where are you going to pull through into the woods? But the other problem is that there's going to be an apartment in the back there, so you're not going to be able to drive through the whole building. So it's going to have to be a back in or a pull in. So I figure this bay over here could be lined up with the driveway real well, and you'll be able to pull back around and then back into this bay. And this bay will be kind of exclusive for like semi-trailers, stuff like that. This bay over here, the driveway will have kind of a thing that goes over here to this corner, kind of cut back in there. And I got to dig all of this out up here. I got a lot of digging to do. And I'll be just pushing this back, and I'll put fill back in there into that gully and everything else to support all that. So to make sure it's a little bit farther away than is right on the edge, you know. But we reduced it from 120 to 90 feet. And I don't know if you guys can see the string back there or not. Maybe you can see the red stake or whatever. It's a very big shop. It's still a very big shop, but it's going to save a lot of money on concrete, and it's going to save a lot of money on building supplies too. By reducing it, the only drawback is I'm not going to be able to pull a semi and a trailer in there all at once. I will be able to, but I won't be able to close the door. And so in the wintertime, if I'm working on a semi-trailer, I'll have to back it in, drop the semi-trailer, pull the truck out, and then I can work on it that way. And like I said, you'll be able to pull 2 semis in here in this bay. You can pull 2 big trucks over in this bay. I mean, that's a lot of things inside there. So that's a lot of room. But like I said, the driveway is going to have to be cut back into this corner. A lot of this trees here, because it kind of does this meander thing here. And coming up with the semi coming up there, making all those turns and stuff, and then going back down and having to back up around those turns would be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to make this more straight going down to the corner to make this driveway more straight. But the driveway will come up here. It will come off right in here, and this will be all kind of a gravel lot. I'm not sure this will be a gravel lot. Probably it's a driveway, and then all back behind there will all be the gravel lot back there. So it's going to be plenty big enough. I was measuring it out for a semi and a trailer, go back there and do a complete turn to be able to come back out. So there's plenty of room here. And then where this tees off to go back behind the shop, we're going to make like a courtyard, and this will go around, and this is where the house is going to be over here. Now the house, I'm not planning on building this, even starting on this, for at least 2 years. We'll see how all things are going and move along. But this will be all a driveway coming up off of this main driveway. So as we come home, you come up the driveway, you come with a car, come in here, and this will be like a circle thing out here in front of the house, and kind of like an atrium type thing where people can park over in here and stuff like that, and they visit. But then we will continue on and have a garage over here. And so that would be the garage and stuff. And this is all going to be one building. It's going to be a timber frame home. but I kind of have this goofy angle here because we wanted the house to be kind of like a horseshoe type thing, kind of be curved around, but you got square buildings. So if you don't do that, it's going to be a lot of wasted space. So this would be the front corner of the house. This will be where the entrance is. I was saying somebody may having some step up thing and having an actual house like back in here a little ways and having a little step up coming in here and then having a front door and it'd be covered, like the whole house would be built over it. So when people come over, you step out of the rain. And then the kitchen area will be right in here and stuff like that. This front wall, kitchen will be looking off that way. And then this here, this is gonna move yet and change around and stuff, but I just have to get it kind of laid out so that the site people can see where a house is gonna be, see where a shed is gonna be, because we have to run sewer lines and we gotta put out the sewer drain field and all this stuff. So they need to see where the buildings are projected to be. So this here will actually be connected. It's not going to be like the string is not connected. The house will be connected. But this corner right here will actually be an office thing. And I'm thinking like wood panels with glass in between them and everything else so you can kind of see through it, but you can close the door and have some privacy, have some quiet, have some windows so you can look out over here and have computers all down here because my wife, she works remotely and works from home. And so she has lots of computers that she works off of, working for higher education places all over the country. Very big places that you guys have heard of. But then this right here, I don't have a string on it because I ran out of string. But from this post to that post over there, this will be the main house. This will be the front of the house. And as you sit in here, I'm going to have this whole wall have like a fireplace in the middle and then have windows all the way around. And you'll be able to sit in here in the living room and stuff, and this will be the view. This will be the view looking out over the valley here. And this will be our view of the house and everything. And the driveway goes all down through there. So if somebody comes up here, we'll be able to see them and everything else. They're coming to visit. Oh boy, I got to clean the house quick. Somebody's coming. But this will be the front of it. And this all has to be taken out. All this wood junk has to be cleaned up. I have a idea for that, but I need to start digging back there first, taking all those trees out where the container's gonna go. I gotta bring that down where my pickup truck is standing. I think that needs to come down about 3 feet. And I think that this right here needs to come up about 3 feet. And then out in front of the house here, I'm gonna have this drop down and kind of make a nice bowl here that continues on down there. And we'll have a basement with a walkout door out of the basement. We're going to kind of make it into kind of like a, I think they call them a mother-in-law's living quarters. So it'll have like a mini kitchen in it, a refrigerator and everything, and have a little kitchen in it, have a little living room and a couple bedrooms in a basement. And this will be a walkout, it'll walk out into a separate entrance to get out and everything. And from where that office is, there's going to be a deck that sticks out here, probably like an 8 or 10 foot deck that hangs out in the air. And it's going to be kind of dual purpose. It's going to serve as kind of like a roof, but it'll also be a deck, but it'll cover that downstairs area where you can have a little outside patio and stuff. And then it'll be the same thing over here. This is the corner of the house, and that's the corner of where the other office is going to be. There's going to be 2 offices upstairs. One will be over here, one will be over here. Same thing, wall with all glass so you'll be able to see through. Have a door that comes in. And then these rooms can be, and then there'll be a door that comes out of the office, goes out onto the deck, and then there'll be a door that comes out of the other office out onto the deck. So as you're working and everything else, doing stuff, I can be down here, she can be down there working and everything else, and maybe you want to go outside and hang out on the deck, take a phone call or whatever to sit and reflect for a moment, go out there and hey, we can meet in the middle. And then this is not right here. We're going to actually move this, but you can kind of see the line up here because the way the garage is, I have this little bump out thing back further that way on the other side. But over on this side, I have this big angle, and it's going to be a bunch of wasted space, as you can see, going from there to there. So this is going to be our bedroom. And what it's going to be is there's a stake right here behind this tree. And this will be the corner of the front of the house. But then there'll be kind of like a wing that goes off. Well, we're going to move this back probably somewhere in here and then going that way. And kind of reposition this whole thing, move that corner over there. And this will be where our bedroom is down here in the end, and maybe have like a laundry room and a bathroom here and stuff for the main house. And have our master bathroom and everything in the bedroom and stuff. And the reason why is because I want it to look the same as the other side. But I want to keep the front of the house kind of like a horseshoe type thing, that it curves all the way around and looks the same. But you can kind of see it through the woods there. That's the altar that me and my wife actually got married at. And there's a cross back there too. And so the plan is to have our bedroom so when we wake up in the morning, we can look out the window and we can see the cross, remember what that's about, and also see that that's where we got married. So we're gonna move the whole thing back just a little bit. And then the wife's idea is that she wants, because I'm going to clean all this brush and stuff out so we have a clear line in here, but then also she wants me to build like a suspension bridge, like an arch bridge or something that goes over that gully, so that there's a bench out there. She likes to sit out there by the cross and read her Bible and stuff like that and contemplate on things. So I'm going to build her like an arch suspension bridge that goes across there, so she'll be able to walk out there nice and everything and have a nice little area up there in the woods. So yeah, so this is the house layout. And it's going to be a nice size house. There's going to be our main bedroom here on the end. Then there's going to be the kitchen that's going to be in the front of here and stuff. An entryway and all this stuff over here. There's going to be a pantry that's going to be built in here. And then above that, on the second story, there's going to be 2 bedrooms above that. And there's going to be 2 bedrooms built above that. And then there's going to be a Jack and Jill bathroom up there. And those are for the younger kids, because they're still going to be living at home when we build this house. So that'll be their rooms. And then once the bedrooms, they'll be complete. So maybe, probably about here. Somewhere right about in this area here will be where the bedrooms will end upstairs, and be a balcony and everything. And then this all the way out to those stakes out there, this will be like the living room, and there'll be a dining room included with this, and you'll have that view. So I think this is coming together. This is kind of what I pictured. And it's going to be a timber frame home. So yeah, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. Once I get all the land all cleared up and all this junk, shady, thicket brush stuff all cleaned off of it, and all this junk, this wood's just laying all over the place, get this all cleaned up, it's going to look real nice up here. And I was talking to the neighbors down there, and they were asking exactly where we were going to build out here and stuff, and I told them up on top of this hill overlooking this valley, and they were like, that's exactly where we built to. It's a beautiful view up here, and when you're up about in here, there is those woods way off there, and when the sun is behind you, you can actually see Keweenaw Bay, which is, I gotta say, 10 to 13 miles as the crow flies. And then there's a range of mountains that are on the other side of the water, and you can see all that as the sun is setting behind us. It's really neat. So I got a lot of work to do, but I have site evaluation tomorrow at noon, and they're going to come out, look at it. Yeah, we can see how this can work. The biggest thing is the sewer, because I'm at the shop now. I walked up here. There's going to be a sewer line that comes out of here, and this sewer line has to go all the way down along kind of like the driveway, run all the way down past the house. Then there's going to have to be a T for the house sewer line to tie into it, and then we got to figure out where the drain field can work out. That's the biggest concern. That's the biggest problem. And if we have enough room down there in a flat enough area for it. So they're coming out tomorrow. We're gonna figure this all out, and wish me luck. I'm kind of hoping the well will be good placement there. And once the site evaluation is done, then I can just start. I can start excavating and everything else and start tearing all this out. It's going to be a lot of work with the backhoe to excavate this all, to take that down 3 feet and build that all up. I've actually started already digging for a pond. I had some time after yesterday. I was out here after marking the boundaries and stuff, and I had a few hours that I didn't have to be home yet for, and I decided to see what the ground would look like. I started digging down there where the pond was going to be and started pulling it up and everything, and it's a lot of clay and everything else, so there's quite a bit. I dug a hole maybe 5 foot down or so, maybe 20 feet across or so, and got a pretty good pile of dirt started, but it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of time sitting in that backhoe moving dirt and everything else. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, you can always try that all over again tomorrow. God bless you guys. And I know that I missed the day of the video. I'm sorry. I was missing some footage, and I was just way too tired to come out here last night and shoot almost in the dark. So I decided I would just come out and quick whip this together today and put it out a day later. But and sorry about the mic thing. I realized that editing, boy, there's a lot of wind noise, so I got to start wearing my little mic thing here. And I actually tried to use it for snowmobiling, and I thought I lost it. But I dug all through my snowmobile gear and everything, and I did find it. So it's all good to go. So I'll start trying to wear this more so that I can be heard a little bit better. And we are going to be changing the channel real quick, changing the name of it to reflect this, what we're doing. And also my wife is going to be getting more involved, and she's going to be out here more and stuff. We were actually going to record when we were doing this, but I forgot the camera. So you guys will be seeing her soon. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.